Hi guys, good morning to everyone. Hope my audio is clear to everyone. Are you guys able to see the notepad file? Could you please confirm quickly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So we will start the session then. Um okay, in the last session, we discussed about the types of dependency injection. And I mean to say, what are the types of dependency injections? We have discussed about the setter injection and as well as constructor injection and as well as the field injection. Okay, if you want to achieve these any kind of injections, we are using auto wiring concept in every on the setter method level, on constructor level, on the field level. And we have one of the another use case about the field injection with the help of the auto wiring. We will be discuss one scenario and then we'll try to close it up the spring framework basics, guys. So these basics are more than sufficient to start our spring boot application. Okay, so I am muted everyone. Again, I will unmute you guys. Whenever you have a questions, you can talk to me. Okay, yeah. Now, here see auto wiring, guys. I will be share you from today onwards the class notes. Already I prepared a notes for you. These notes is more than sufficient to read it yourself. If you want to write more than apart from that, when classes happen, if you feel any points you want to add, you can add it in your notes also. Please maintain a notepad file for the running notes. It is sufficient for you. I mean, at least how the class notes, some people may write in different way. Some people, based on your words, you can write it yourself. Okay, now what is the concept of the auto wiring? It is the process of identifying independent bean and inject into a target bean. In the last session, what we discussed about is we created for the auto wiring. Let me open the workspace once. Now, where is that our application? Yes, we have a employee.java and address.java is available. In the employee.java class, we have a identifying dependent bean is nothing but address object. So address object is identifying and injecting into a target bean here. This is nothing but field injection. Field injection internally using the reflection API concept. Okay, at the rate auto word annotation is applied on instance variables and setter methods and constructors. It provide auto wiring to the bean properties here. Whenever we are applying auto wired annotation to a field, what IOC container will inject automatically and assign the fields with assigned values here. Here, auto wiring has several modes are there. The important modes are by type mechanism and by name mechanism. By type represents based on data type. It will identify dependent bean object, and based on the bean name it will identify dependent object. These two types are available right now. For this example, whatever we have for this example, okay, we cannot able to identify whether it is taking by type or by name. Okay, you will not able to guess it here. So to solve this problem, okay, we have a concept of another use case I am taking, okay, with auto wiring concept here. Okay, now have a see here. We have with auto wiring, at the rate qualifier annotation is also available. When you should use this annotation is used along with the auto wired annotation. Combination of auto wire we will be use. So this qualifier, why we need this annotation means it is providing more control over the dependency injection processes. For example, if you have one interface name as a sorting, okay, inside a sorting interface I have one method called sort method and has many implementations are available: a quick sort, a bubble sort, selection sort, and we have so many types of sorting mechanisms are available. Which sorting mechanism you want to inject? if you make an auto wire about a sorting interface, okay, compiler don't know, hey, which interface I want, which implementation class I want to execute, even IOC container don't know, then at the rate qualifier concept will come to the picture here. Okay, now by using this approach, we'll try to see a small example with auto wiring modes so that you will get as a better idea. Can we start with a small example combination of auto wiring at the qualifier in this level? Like we will be create one interface here, okay, and like let me draw a small diagram so that you will get some better idea. Just a minute then. What we are trying to achieve now is, let me write a paint. Let me open the paint once. Just a minute, guys. Yes. Now suppose I have one interface here. The interface name kind of a, you can take any name, guys. So let me take as a uh, uh, one interface. So I'm starting with okay, iMessage producer. Just I am taking an interface here, guys. And this is a iMessage producer is an interface. So this guy has a one of the implementation class is available. Okay, now this class is nothing but like a, let me take as a two implementation classes are available here. Okay, now what we can take, we will take two implementation classes. One of the implementation class is called as a HTML message producer is one of the class, and as well as we will be take as a text message producer class. We will take as a two interfaces in this structure here. Now this guy will be one of the implementation class, and here we have a another implementation class is available. Now whenever if you apply, we will be take as a another class called as a message writer class. In this message writer class, what I will do, you want to know, see here, I will be apply auto wiring at the rate auto wired on top of the iMessage producer interface here. iMessage producer. Now this guy has a two implementation classes are available at IOC container level here. Now here what we can take. Okay, then you tomorrow onwards join on time, Vinod. Don't delay that part. Just have a look here. We are covering auto wiring modes. Give me some time. Now we will be see. Now here in iMessage producer, we are writing one method called as a input method. Like what data you want to achieve. Like what data you want to, like I want to like one of the method I will be write as a string a format message. I will be write one method called here, I will be take one input from the user. You have a IOC context object through container level. I will try to pass some data to this input. At runtime, I want to achieve whether I want to execute HTML message producer and a text message producer, which we want to achieve. We are going to implement with the help of the auto wiring concept here. We'll try to write in this approach. We'll see whether are we getting any exception or we are able to run the application. We'll see based on that we can able to okay achieve this issue. Are you guys clear this one? Yes, please confirm in the chat box quickly this diagram. This is a interface. Now we are going to discuss the concept called auto wiring modes, guys. Okay, auto wiring with the combination of at the rate qualifier annotation. This is the we are going to discuss now. Okay, guys, so who joined the late, okay, tomorrow onwards please sharp at 7:30, guys. We will be start tomorrow onwards. Even if you miss 1 minute of time, you will be in dynamo in the next 15 to 20 minutes. So please on time, guys, from tomorrow onwards, everyone. Okay, couple of people are joined late today, so please make sure. So guys, even if you miss one class, 1 hour of session or half an hour of session, the next class will be in the Dynamo, guys. Definitely. There is a dependent from today class will be dependent on tomorrow, guys. If you miss one class, if you are not watch, so it will be a problem. So always try to make sure. Sometimes video access may delay also for you. In that case, next class you will not understand, so try to attend the live classes as soon as possible. Don't depend on the video, guys. Okay. Now have a look here. We'll try to achieve this whatever this concept auto wiring modes. Now combination of the qualifier. Now let me take a project here. Now what we can do here, already we have this project auto wiring project here. Let me clone this project. Now copy, okay, right click and paste it here. Now I am choosing 05, okay, and here what I am taking as a auto wiring modes. Now just copy this whole project, I mean project name, sorry, it's my bad, copy and change in the artifact ID. Why? Because in pom.xml, your artifact ID, your project name, it is displaying as a previous project name. So instead of using the previous project name, I want to change with my project name 05. Who are completely joined today's session, guys, you may not get complete idea until you watch the previous videos. Till now 4 sessions are completed. This is the 5th session, guys, including demo sessions. Okay. Now here let me change artifact ID and as well as the name of the project. Done. This first step is completed. Whenever you are copying the project, please make sure try to change in artifact ID and the name, so that the uniqueness will be available in this project here. Now let me go to let me remove the whatever we have. Let me remove the address object. Address object is not required for me, and as well as employee object is also not required to me. Let me remove here. Okay. Here go to your test.java. Just keep it custom bean config in the same structure, and we'll try to discuss the other things now. Now let me comment it. As of now I don't have anything, right? Now here I am creating one kind of a interface here. What is the interface I need to create? iMessage producer here. iMessage producer is a interface here. In this interface I am writing one of the method called string format message. Here let me take one input, string input from user. Now this is a interface. For this interface I have a two implementation classes. What are the implementation classes? HTML message producer. This is completely a core Java, guys. Still now one interface has multiple implementation classes. Okay. Now here implements, here what concept here? iMessage producer interface. Now I want to implement. Whenever you are trying to implement, you will get an exception, so add an implemented method. Okay. Now in the written statement, just I'm writing some kind of a tag like HTML. This is normal text message, nothing else. Don't think like this is a real HTML. Okay. Now to understand for this use case, I'm explaining this one. HTML, whatever you received a input, now I am appending normal HTML. Just whenever you are calling HTML message producer, now this output I will get it in the console. Now this is one implementation class. Now let me create another implementation class here. Text message, text message producer. Now here also same thing. Let me implements iMessage producer. Here let me take the implementation class text message, add unimplemented methods. Here just hello, and I want to print input. What is our hello input? That's it. Now there is a difference. Whenever you are executing text message producer, you will get output as a hello. Whenever this class is executed HTML, you will get output as a hello. Now to run this whole thing, we need to write another class called message writer. So this is the guy where he want to use the application here. Now how to do? See here, right click, file, new. I am writing another class called message writer. Message writer. Now, if you want to represent your Java class, your Pojo class, or Java bean to represent as a Spring bean, you need to apply a annotation called at the rate. Which annotation? At the rate component annotation you should be apply on each and every model class. Now, this is one Spring bean. This is a message producer. Where is the text message producer? This is another annotation. Now, to whenever you start your application context, your IOC container include two beans are available. Three beans, one for custom bean config, another for HTML, another for the text. This is just a interface here. Now message writer is another bean object. Now let me make it as a component. Wherever I am using, just I applied annotation called at the rate component annotation. Now here what I want to do, I want to display a message. Now two implementation classes are available. Now public void a write message. Now from the user he will be use this method. From the user he will use this method, write message method, from the context object. How to get a bean object of message writer? In the last session we discussed how we are getting employee object in the same structure. See here, go to your test.java. Here instead of the employee object, here what object you need? Here also either you can specify okay reference name or class type, also you can write it here. How we can write it? Class name is here message writer dot class. This is also another approach where whenever you are getting a object you can get it like this also here, message writer class. Now you are not interested to write like this. Now either it is a following camel case letters. Now this approach also you can write it here. Let me show you both approaches. This is the previous session as we discussed here. Now it will be following message writer class. Either you can use this one, either you can use the type. In the container level it will be verify for this message writer class, do I have any context objects or not, like a bean object is created or not, it will be verified. Now we will be use the new approach now from in this session onwards. Now here this is your message writer class. In this message writer class, now dot which method? Write message. I want to write a method welcome. Okay, let me write welcome to Spring Boot course. Just I written some message welcome to Spring Boot course like this. Now this is a context object here, hope everyone knows. Now we need to complete this writer message here. Now I have a two implementation classes. Now as of now in the previous session we discussed about how to auto-wire your bean object. Now see here what is the response. I will get it now. HTML message producer, just at the rate auto-wired annotation. Now how you will write at the rate auto-wired annotation? System.out.println HTML message producer, right? Format whatever you received the input, I am passing this input. Everyone knows this approach. We'll see whether this is working or not, and we will be discuss about the qualifier when we need to go for qualifier. Run as the Java application. Now we'll see the output. See HTML welcome to Spring Boot course here. Now I am not interested the message HTML. I need a text message producer. Then how you will be write here text. Here what you can do, text message producer class. You need to write that appropriate class. Now we are making the code change. And if you want, say purpose, when you are working in an industry, maybe some guy is interested for text message producer, some guys are interested for the HTML, then he need to change this text message producer wherever he is doing the code change. Now go here, right click, run as Spring Boot, sorry, Java application, anything is fine. See, hello, welcome to Spring Boot course. Now here the question is, if you want one developer interested for HTML, so in his system he is trying to modify in this class. Another guy, another developer interested for the text message producer, he is using. Maybe another guy, another implementation class. Here you may have n number of implementation classes are available. Every time changing the class name, it is kind of a difficult task. It's not the recommended approach. Every time you should change the class name. So instead of every time changing the class name, I'm changing the generic way, iMessage producer. Now iMessage producer, if you Autowire, now in this message we have two implementation classes are available. If you click message producer, if you use control key, click open implementation. See, two implementations are available. Now when you given this instruction, okay, this instruction to IOC container, what IOC container will display the data? Now that is your question. Now right click, run as Java application. Now see here, carefully observe this exception, guys. This is one of the important interview question. See, unsatisfied dependency exception. What it is? Error creating bean with name message writer. It is not able to create message writer, okay, dependent bean object as you are facing. See, iMessage producer interface. Why we are getting? See here, this point, see, no qualifying type iMessage producer available expected. Let me copy this message, keeping it in your notepad file. Now what is your exception message? See here, guys, what it is trying to identify. When you are making Autowire for this exception for this interface in a container, IOC container, I found two things: HTML message producer and text message producer. I have a confusion. So which I want to execute here? Now how to solve this problem is with the help of the qualifier annotation @qualifier. See here, which, okay, which entity class you want to execute, that class you need to specify. Now we have a two, so this is the one. These are the two references are available in container level, IOC container level, these two references. Copy. Now here, tell me, this here we have a auto wiring modes, two concepts, one for the by type and by name here. Now as part of here, see, by type and by name. Here type represents iMessage producer, it will be verify your type here. By name represents here, okay, type reference name here. These two things here. Now as part of this example, now you see, this is the by type, this is the by name. Now by default it is verifying, okay, first by name is available or not. In IOC container, iMessage producer is not available. Now let me take a small diagram, you will get some good idea. Now where is our diagram? Yes. Now, whenever your application is started, in a container level, this is assume that this is a IOC container here. When you start your application, IOC container. When you start so many entity classes will be created. In our use case, one of the custom bean config, this is one Spring Bean, and we have a HTML message producer, this is one bean, and we have a text message producer, this is another bean, and we have a message writer, this is another bean. For singleton, a bean Spring an IOC container is available. When you start in your application, it is trying to verify using this name, I message producer available or not. Here this one is not available in the container. Then it is identifying the types. What is the type name we have here? We have a type called I message producer. For this message producer, I have a two references I found, one for the HTML, another for called text message. These two things I'm able to identify. Then it is trying to invoke these two things, HTML as well as the text, but it is not able to identify container. There is a confusion, hey, which one I want to execute. So that's why even it is not able to identify. See what is the exception? No qualifying bean of type iMessage producer single match being found, but I was able to found two things. Only one you should be execute here. Now copy here and here, keep it here. Then by default it will be execute HTML message producer. Suppose another developer, he is writing some own piece of code, then that guy interested for text message producer, then he can use text message producer here. Now go to your test.java, right click, run as Java application. Now see, welcome to Spring Boot course. Now let me change to the HTML message producer. Now let me run this application, run as Java application. Now see here, HTML, welcome to Spring Boot course here. Now with the help of the qualifier, one problem is solved here. This is one approach. We have another annotation called @primary annotation. Okay, by default when you start our application, okay, I want to provide instructions to primary, I don't want the secondary. That means I want to execute, when you start your application, I want to execute by default HTML, I don't want to use the qualifier annotation. Then in that use case, what you need to do, another change you should take in HTML, make this is called @primary annotation. In the real time, the use case is if you have two databases, one database is connecting to MySQL, one database is connecting to the Oracle for the same application. In that use case, first I am giving priority importance for MySQL database. This is the primary component. Wherever you want the secondary, you can use the alias name. See here, just I am making auto primary here. Go to your writer class. Just I am commenting this place. See here. Now let me run test.java application. Now Java application. Then by default it will be execute. See here, HTML. If you have a requirement to use text message producer, then you can use here, you can change it here, text message producer here. Let me write it, text message producer. Now see here whether it is auto wiring happening, I mean it is a overrided or it is using the primary, you will get to know. See here, welcome to Spring Boot course here. So this is all about your auto wiring modes. As per this diagram here, we solve the problem with the using of the qualifier annotation here. Clear? Now let me give option to you. Option to talk to you guys. Yes. Now, a good question, Vinod. Thank you. The but is the best practice means always whenever you have one interface as more than implementation, then based on your requirement, you can take it here. Sometimes you can use the qualifier, or sometimes you can, if with respect to database here, by default, we'll use at the rate primary annotation on top of your class. Here, where is our, assume that this is a Oracle database. Now this is a MySQL database. Two classes are available. I want to give importance to Oracle database here. Then you can use it here. When you have a specific requirement, I don't want Oracle, then I want to use MySQL, then you can use the qualifier annotation. Both approaches we will be used based on the requirement here. Yes, are you guys clear about the Spring Framework basics and auto wiring modes? Any questions, please, quickly in the chat box? Yes, you are also changing. See, think about not the code change. Suppose two developers are using. This guy has a HTML, this guy has a text. One guy interested for this implementation class. Another guy interested for this implementation class. Okay, best example. In the collections, we have a concept of the sorting. How many of you? I'm not sure. Okay, in the collections, if you have a elements, suppose you have a elements like 67 comma 45 comma 34 78. If you want to do the sorting mechanism, if you want to the sorting for this cell, we have a so many implementations are available. In the collections, one utility class is available. Can I know what is the utility class to sort these elements? Who knows Java 8 and collections? A best example I'm giving to you. Anyone? How to sort my elements in ascending order using collections? A predefined utility method is available. One of the method called
Sort.
collections, exactly, sort method. Here you need to provide the elements. Now we have so many implementations are available, but JDK, the Java team is interested to get a best opportunity in terms of the in terms of the login. Like we have a complexity, they are using the merge sort, they are using here. In the next version, they want to they feel another sorting mechanism is good, they can go for the quick sort. So see, this is sort mechanism, you can do multiple ways to do the sorting, but their use case is merge sort. This is the best, I assume. Future you want to do another implementation, he want to change, he can change to some kind of a quick sort here like this. So based on our implementation, whichever is comfortable, you can use in our classes here, Prakash. Clear? It will be a more convenient, right? You no need to even one become a primary. It should be a more convenient this class. It will be a more loosely coupled. It should not be a tightly coupled. No, one guy is using primary. Yes, one developer is using the primary. Suppose you have to, there is a developer one is available here. There is assume the developer one, here assume the developer two, here is a developer three. Now here in developer one, now this is a dev one guy. Now this guy is using at the he need a default implementation. Default implementation is what? HTML. Default implementation. Another guy has a dev2, another developer. He is not interested in the default. Then he can use at the rate qualifier. Then of type text. Then he can use another developer, maybe another piece of code, another developer is another implementation class. Then he will be create another kind of implementation can with the help of the qualifier he can use. The generic way we are using the primary. If he is not satisfied with the implementation, they can customize whichever. That's why, as I told, more control over here. That's a using. See, there is one point here. It provides more control over the dependency injection process. You can be specified and method parameters or constructor arguments also. You can pass it here using the qualifier annotation. Clear now, Prakash? Others, everyone is good? Okay, I will be verify if we have any, I feel any assignment is there for using Autowiring qualifier. You can also able to practice this kind of one simple example. First try to practice this approach. Once you are good, then you can go for the next step. Clear? Any questions quickly? I need your acknowledgement, please. Auto wiring modes diagram. Just auto wiring modes, just I'm keeping these diagrams also. I will be share you just for your reference purpose. Let me stop this application so that we are completed about the spring basics here, guys. We completed the spring basics. What are the concepts we discussed in the spring framework? Spring framework, what are the concepts we discussed here? First we discussed about what is spring framework. Here first we go for the definition. Okay, then we can go for the what are the spring modules are available. Spring modules are available, and types of frameworks, what are the frameworks are available, and types of applications using spring framework. We can discuss what are the applications we like a web application, distributed application, and then what we discussed, guys, and the spring bean we discussed as a spring IOC container, and we discussed about the spring bean, and then we discussed about the dependency injection, and then we discussed about inside a dependency injection we have a auto wiring modes we discussed here. Apart from that, annotations we used. What are the annotations we discussed as part of here? At the rate configuration, at the rate bean annotation, and at the rate component, and at the rate, let me write what are the annotations you learned till now. At the rate auto wired, and at the rate qualifier or qualifier we discussed. These are the things we discussed till now in these 4 sessions. These are the minimum spring basics to start with our spring boot application. Are we good? Today's session class notes also I will be share you. If we are good, then we will be start about the spring boot, guys. What is spring boot? Introduction, and we'll go for some advantages, and then we will be start again from later on time coding part we will be discuss. Okay, so let me stop this recording and freshly I will start for the spring boot, guys, so that these all videos available on the spring framework. Whoever knows the spring, you can go ahead and skip directly to the spring boot. If you are not good at the spring framework, watch these videos. Okay, let me stop this recording.